Let's take the euro dollar and take the euro pairs because the euro is kind of weak. So let's take the euro pairs. So the first one we're going to start with is the euro dollar. Yeah, we're going to do the euro dollar and the pound dollar. Both the euro dollar and the dollar itself are pretty much, their closing for the week, the index is pretty much neutral, if you will, versus the others. So if you look at the euro dollar close, it's right in the midst of the whole thing, basically a buy. I mean, not even a buy. If you look at the US dollar, pretty much the upside down, so there isn't much on either side of the trade, but we should be looking at the dollar is slightly, and I mean slightly, a little bit more positive than the euro. There is a price point which is the 141, I think 60 or 80, which is the, I'm not sure which one is it. Yeah, I think the 141.80. I was looking with that point with Claire on Friday, and it does have. I mean, this, it is actually the 2 days high because we had the break on Thursday above the 142.16 structure point, and then when it reversed below this, which is the 141.80, that was a selling point. And if you look at the chart for the euro, the 141.80, you would see that it's actually a pretty, even that high is a pretty significant point. See that right there, these are the 141.80 that we picked up right now. They're beginning to line up all the way back, and you see it's actually coming right at these highs. I actually looked at it on Friday with Claire, and we both agreed that there has been a lot of action activity at or around the 140, 180. So having now closed the week at 140, 140, right below the 140, 180 or 90 that it's here, this keeps our bias to the downside. Yet, as you see, this is kind of a neutral day. It doesn't give us any directional bias. So we will be buying it above the 141.90 if it gets above it, and we will be selling it right below the 141 or the low of the day, because this is a neutral day, so we're going to take it on the break on either side of the trade. So we are going to be long the euro above 141.90, and we're going to be short the euro below this is 140, so it's going to be 140.90, which is the low of this day. It's a little bit below the 141, so it's going to be 140.90. Our structural short to the downside is the 140.35, and our structural long to the upside is now changed, comes back to be the 142.16. The only thing left is to identify the stops. So if I'm going to take it below this low, so my stop has to be above the market side. That's the only place that I can find any equilibrium here, so it's going to be above the market side, which is going to be 141.33. And on the short side, if I'm going to take it below 140.90, my stop is going to be right above this momentum low, which is the 141.15. Alright, so the euro, dollar, we're kind of neutral on it because it's an inside day. It doesn't show us any, so we want to take only the high probability trade, and if it gets the high probability means if it breaks out of this days range, so we're going to be a buyer, so we're going to buy it above the 141.90, and if we do, then we have a structural point of 142.16, and of course if it breaks above that, we're looking for a big move to the upside. On the downside, we're going to take it below the momentum low of the daily low, which is the 140.90, and if we do have now another structure point at 140.35, and if we do take it short, we're going to use a tight stop of about 25 pips by putting the stop above 141.15. Okay? Any questions on the euro?